how long can this dynasty with the four All-Stars last for?
It's tough to say because simply now teams are retooling and revitalizing their sides simply to beat Golden State. We saw Houston were legitimately built to beat that, and they were a Chris Paul injury away from getting to the NBA Finals and being in the exact position that the Warriors are in right now. Um, so you have to look at it'll be a question you have to ask come the start of next season. We have to see what teams have done throughout free agency, through the draft, and where every team sits come the next season. Because for the last 4 years, they're chasing the Warriors, and teams are closer than ever to actually beating this team who looked unbeatable a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing to take from this season. Yes, the finals was completely uncompetitive, but let's not forget that this team got pushed to seven and had lost three of five before the CP3 injury by Houston, and it's pretty clear that they've given the league the blueprint to beat these Warriors, and it's up to the rest of the league now to give them a genuine contender, whether it's Houston or somebody else. If we just look at their payroll, they've obviously got Steph locked up on that massive contract, the Supermax, for the next 4 seasons. Draymond is locked up for the next two. Clay's the interesting one. He'll be a free agent at the end of next season, although there is
Yep.
word that they're discussing a contract extension around the 102 million 4-year deal. So we'll have
Yeah.
to see if that'll get done. KD's the other one because he's going to be back there most likely. That's what he's signalled. But he did decline his player option, so we'll see. Because right now, like this year, he was on 9 million less than Curry, and next year he's projected his player option was at 11 million less, 37 to
Yeah.
26. He's gonna want to get paid. Showing like opting out of that player option is a pretty clear sign that he's not going to settle again like he did when he went there the first time. They are going to start struggling with the salary cap.
Yeah, they are really going to struggle for like more after next year, if anything, because I think the other one you have to look at. I think they will sign guys like Nick Young, guys like David West, guys like JaVale to mid-level contracts. They're not going to really have to splash the big money on those guys, but a guy like Jordan Bell, his rookie deal is owed $1.4 million next season. Oh yeah, 1.4, and then he's a free agent. So he is a really good player, and he showed that throughout the playoffs. He showed that through this season, and it's dangerous if a team does throw some money at him come the end of the 2019 season. So I think they'll be fine for the 2018-2019 season, but I think after that is when it gets really dicey for the Warriors. Steph's contract goes up to over 40 million a season, so they've probably still got a couple of years, but they're going to have to figure that out very quickly.
Yeah, the other thing as well is just their age factor. Their owner, Joe Lacob, I think Lacob, is that correct? I'm pronouncing it
Yeah,
properly, but he already flagged that just a couple of weeks ago. Their core is still at their peak in a sense of age. Curry's 30, Durant's 29, Clay's 28, Draymond's 28. But then outside of that, Iggy's 34, Livingston's 32, and then their role players, Nick Young 33, Zaza's 34, David West 37, McGee 30. So they are significantly older, especially in that center position area, than a lot of other teams, and that is something that they're going to need to work on because really they've got Kevon Looney who's 22, McCaw's 22, as you mentioned, Bell's 23, Quinn Cook's 25, but they do have a lot of older players on that list that you don't want to be paying too much money for, but at the same time, can they keep giving you the production? And that depth has been something that's been tested this year.
I think the one thing that will probably work in the Warriors' favor will be that a lot of other veterans,
Yeah,
if
will
they
want
do
to
happen to
sign with
lose,
them.
if they do happen to lose David West, they do happen to lose Nick Young. There's guys that want to win, and want to win now, and they'll take less money to sign with this Warriors team to be on that winning side. So it is quite possible that they still can do it after this season.
Yeah, well, if you're a mature, older player who wants a ring, there's pretty much no better place to go to. And yeah, they will need those minimum salary guys because Nick Young's only on 5 million, Pachulia's on 3, David West 2. So these guys are not playing. McGee 2, so they're not paying that much for them. The other thing they just have to clear up is they've got a ridiculous amount of centers on their list. So
Yeah,
obviously Zaza, David West, McGee, Kevon Looney, Jordan Bell, they have, and then Draymond obviously can play it in the death lineup. They clearly have a lack when it comes to backup on the wing position, which is what Houston exposed when they went with Tucker at the 5 and Iggy got injured. There is a
yeah.
bit of a hole there, which you never know. They got Jordan Bell with pick 38 from the Bulls, so they've got pick 28, so we'll have to see what they can do there or find a way. But I still think for next year and maybe the year after, they're going to be okay, but after that starts to get question marks over can they keep all those stars. If one of those stars was going to go, if it's going to get broken up, so out of the 4 All-Stars, who's going to leave? What's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back?
I think the real threat would be Durant leaving.
Yeah.
I think the other three were drafted by the team and have that history together. They won the first championship together, and they've been together for a while. KD obviously went there to win his championships and be that guy, and he's won 2. So if the Warriors can't maybe match the contract that Steph's getting with him, or even get it closer than what it is at the moment, a team that has that money may offer a contract to him, but at the end of the day, he probably want to win, and he's not going to go to a team if he doesn't think that he can win a championship.
Yeah, I agree. I think Durant is the one who could potentially defect at some point, mainly because he's got his rings now, he's got his finals MVPs, but people will always bring up the fact that he went to a stacked 73 win team
Yeah,
and he was the piece that took them over the edge. I think at some point, I don't know, we're not inside Kevin Durant's head, but I think at some point there's got to be a little part of him that's like, maybe let me try while I'm still in my peak, go win a title with a good team, but one where I'm not going to get the narrative that I'm being carried or I'm not really that needed to actually win a championship. So we'll have to wait and see. Also, Draymond. I think there's always a chance with Draymond. There's always been rumours that Steve Kerr and him don't always see eye to eye.
the one thing that I'd say about both Draymond and Klay Thompson is that they both know nothing else but the system that Golden State has. And I think the worry that would be in my head if I was in either of their position is that, am I going to be used in the same way and still be a successful player, an all-star, with another team like they have been able to with the Warriors?
Yeah, well, that's obviously similar to the Celtic system discussion, and I think Draymond would probably. I think Clay would still be an elite scorer. Draymond's questionable, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It looks like Clay will probably re-sign. That's how things look at the moment, but
Yeah,
will be interesting in the next couple of years to see how long their dynasty can last for, because it will end eventually. This isn't going to go forever, so
yeah,
we'll have to wait and see. Or who knows, they could go out, get Anthony Davis like it's rumoured, and then destroy the NBA for the next 50 years. So
yeah.
who knows?